Hello everyone. So this is another unboxing. I decided to do an older unboxing that I have not seen on YouTube at all. It is obviously Henry Cow, in opposition band from the 70s, and so I have had these box sets for quite some time, and way back when I got them, I really dipped into them. It is the full set. It was limited to 1,500 copies, and it was assembled over 15 years. The collection gives the first time, wait, let me see here. For the first time, some ideas of the breadth and depth of Henry Cow's work. Official released LPs tell at best only half the story. This definitive collection sets the work back into a broader context. So what do you get? These are actually 3 separate box sets, and each of them has let me show you here. So 3 separate box sets. So what you get is the Road Volume 1 through 5, the Road Volume 6 through 10, and the studio albums Volume 1 through 5. If you were to try to get these today brand new, they don't offer them like this. I'm glad I bought this when I had the chance. There is one extra CD, well, kind of 2, that don't come in this in these collections. They added an extra one to the new box set, and the new box set has 17 discs, I believe. This one, I'm not sure. I think this has 16 discs in it. We will count as we go on. So, as I said, I really jumped into this way back in oh God, I think it was like 2008 or between 2008 and 2010. I looked on YouTube and I saw nobody else doing the unboxings, so I'm going to just show you what you get, talk a little bit about it, because it's been a while, so I don't remember a lot of Henry Cow information. Let's start with the last set here, which is the studio albums. So what you get is a box with the CDs in it for this one. This first one is Leg End. Some people may call it Legend, but this is the original mix. There was a different mix of it, I believe, done by a Minneapolis studio, Minneapolis label, sorry. And all of these are done by RER. If I remember correctly, what does that stand for? RER Media Corp. I'm not remembering what RER stands for. Somebody will correct me, because there's always somebody who corrects me. So who do you have in the band? You have Jeff Lee on saxes, flute, clarinet, recorder, and voice. Tim Hodgkinson on organ, piano, alto sax, clarinet, and voice. John Greaves on bass, piano, whistle, voice. Fred Frith on guitars, viola, violin, piano, and voice. And Chris Cutler on drums, toys, piano, whistle, and voice. If you have not heard this band, they're somewhat of an acquired taste. I've just started delving back into it. Each booklet here gives a little bit of information and a lot of photos. So I'll just go through each album here and slide it back in there. By this time, Lindsay Cooper was in the band. This is the album Unrest. As you can see, there's a theme going with the sock. At this point, we had Hodgson, Fred Firth, John Greaves, Chris Cutler, and Lindsay Cooper, who played bassoon, oboe, recorder, and voice. And the lineup somewhat changes throughout these albums. I think there's the same lineup on this album. And I apologize if you cannot see everything because of... There we go. I'll just hold them like this. More liner notes. That is Robert Wyatt after he, I believe, broke his back and got paralyzed. I think he fell out of a window. I'm not sure. He did some stuff with them. This is where I believe Dagmar Krause starts with the band. And actually, I didn't realize that. This is where they did. So, what is this one called? This one is called In Praise of Higher Learning. And this is where they teamed up with a band called Slap Happy that consisted of Dagmar Krause, Peter Blegvad, and Anthony Moore. And I still have no Slap Happy stuff except for the next CD. So now you have the lineup with organ, clarinet, piano, guitar, violin, xylophone, piano, bass, piano, drums, radio, voice, guitar, piano, bassoon, and oboe, soprano sax by Jeff Lee, Manji, Feza, trumpet, and Phil Becquois, oscillator. I'm not sure how you pronounce that last name in the red section. But yeah, this one has this is probably my favorite one because I really like the songs Beautiful as the Moon, Terrible as an Army with Banners, and the song War. This is where they kind of got more song oriented rather than the improv-y kind. Well, their first two albums are not improv, but they have lyrics and a singer. So, as I said, I'm not the expert on Henry Cow. I just thought it would be cool to do a Henry Cow box set opening because the new version, I don't know if I said the new version, comes in, all of these CDs come in these plastic sleeves, and it all comes in one box that's, probably about a little bigger than just one of these because they don't do the jewel cases, and I love jewel cases, so I like having things that can't get destroyed. So you still have Dagmar, Peter Blegvad, Anthony Moore, John Greaves, Chris Cutler, Tim Hodgkinson, and Fred Frith. And if you don't know who Fred Frith is, he has done a lot of solo albums. He actually ended up playing bass, not guitar, on John Zorn's Naked City project, which I thought was weird. Hey, I need a bass player, so I'll call the guy from Henry Cow to play bass in this weird kind of jazzy noise project. It's kind of weird. So that is Desperate Straits, which is Slap Happy and Henry Cow together. I'm glad they included this. And the last studio album by Henry Cow is called Western Culture. Some of these colors in here are just kind of like, ugh, kind of hurts your eyes reading orange on blue. But again, some good liner notes about the albums. At this time, what the heck? People are adding things onto to Facebook and stuff. So let me make sure my communications are gone. So at this point, John Greaves is no longer playing bass. Looks like Fred Frith played bass on a lot of this, but that's where they got a bass player who also was originally a cellist named Georgie Bourne. And this, In Praise of Legend, Henry Cow, the greatest band you've never heard of. So Georgie Bourne actually played cello originally, and there's a picture of her. We'll see another picture later. So when she started playing bass for them, she actually just tuned it like a cello. She already knew where all the notes were, so she figured, oh, I'll just tune it like a cello, which is pretty cool. You get a wider range that way. And so she only played on like 3 songs on this, and that was their last studio album. They were supposed to do another one after that. We will kind of talk about that in a little bit. So now we have Henry Cow, The Roads, or The Road, Volume 1 through 5. Again, cool box set, different pictures. So what you get with this is a CD called The Concerts. I believe this was sold separately. I think all of these were sold separately at one point after the box sets went out of print. And this again has a amazing amount of information. And I believe what they have done is compiled all the booklets. I'm not sure in the new box set. Well, yeah, I think you do get all the studio albums and all these live albums, or live CDs, I should say. So CD 1 and 2, lots of liner notes and notes on everything. So that has 2 discs in it. So yeah, it is 2, 3, 4. It is 16. This is Henry Cow, The Beginnings. Oops. Hopefully that didn't wreck it by being out of there. Oops. So let's look at this. This is Volume 1 in the Henry Cow Anniversary box set. It is, let's see. Doesn't really tell me any dates here, but that's the first lineup. And with these, you get virtually nothing. So that's kind of a disappointment, right? No, it's not a disappointment. When we get to the booklet that comes with this, you'll see why it's not a disappointment. Henry Cow, 74 to 75. Lindsay Cooper has joined the band by this time. I believe she was not on here at this time. Yeah, on that first, The Beginnings disc, she is not on there. And actually, it looks like Lindsay Cooper and Dagmar by track 23 and 34, or 32, sorry, are in the band, along with some Robert Wyatt appearances. Hamburg. And it looks like this is all one show with Robert Wyatt guesting on 2. So Dagmar is already in the band, along with none of the other guys from Slap Happy. So that looks like a fun show to be at. Trondheim. Oh, actually, this is a 2-disc set here, so I wonder what's going on here. Oh, this was the back of the box set, like the plastic that showed you everything. Box 1 covers the years from 72 to 76, all previously unreleased. It is also a space to hold the double CD concerts, which belongs in the road set. And box 2 covers 76 to 78, 4 CDs and a DVD, the only known professional video made of the band, all previously unreleased. And box 3 holds all the studio albums. To get one or both of the other volumes at a special discount, or 3 boxes to store your Henry Cow studio albums in, please visit RER Megacorp. So, yeah, that was what came on the back of the box sets. And this does have 2 discs in it. Trondheim Volume 2 and 1. And at this point, looks like we have Lindsay Cooper, Chris Cutler, Fred Frith, Tim Hodgson on both. So it's just a 4-piece at this point. We're on that show. So all those disappointing 1-sheets are justified because this is 60 pages, basically. And this has a lot of stuff. I'm going to just quick flip through it just to show you what you get. I think with the new box set, they have compiled this book and the next book all into one big book along with 60 extra pages. So there is technically a third book. I believe it's like 200 pages or something like that if you take all the liner notes from the other things. And recently there was a book about Henry Cow. Sometimes the reading can be a bit, let's see, kind of sterile reading when, you know, Chris Cutler can be a bit much when you get into his reading or his writing a little bit. But I mean, at least he has a love for all this, and who else is gonna help do all of this? This is huge. This must be one of the most boring unboxings ever. And Road Volume 6 through 10. So we'll see what came in here. You get Henry Cow, Stockholm, and Göteborg. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And it looks like John Greaves was still in the band at this point. Nope, it looks like John Greaves is only on track 8, and then Georgie Bourne is in the band at this point. You get later and post-Virgin Cow. And I believe Henry Cow were named after a classical composer named Henry Cow, but I may not have that information right. So correct me if I'm wrong. Or just go, oops, he got it wrong, and move on. Henry Cow the late. So there's Georgie. So she did play some cello with the band. I do like some of these shots. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so she did play some cello also with the band. A lot of these live things have improvs, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while, and just going through all of this is really really takes a while, and you have to be in the mood for Henry Cow. Just go and check out some of their studio stuff. Here we got Henry Cow late, which has the final lineup with Anne-Marie Rolfs on trombone and probably Dave Chambers on sax. Probably. Not quite sure. It actually says probably. I kid you not. And probably. And then the very last CD here is actually a DVD of them in 1976. And I believe this might... Nope, it doesn't show... There might be a picture of them when they're playing live. This is a 75-minute show recorded on August 25th, 1976. It's actually recorded outside. So you have Georgie Bourne, Lindsay Cooper, Chris Cutler, Fred Frith, Tim Hodgkinson, and Dagmar Krause on vocals. Yeah, so that is fantastic because I guess it's the only known live show on video of them. You can actually watch As Beautiful As on YouTube if you'd like. And even though all of those had really one sheets, you get your money's worth with this. I should really hold it like that. Sorry, I have a microphone stand holding up my phone, and so it's a little higher than I am, so I'm not looking really at where things are. Fred Frith on violin. That's a great picture of the band. That's back when John Greaves was in the band. So Chris Cutler does a lot of liner notes in here. He can be very scientific when it comes to talking about the band. So that's why I call some of his writing kind of sterile, because it's not super interesting unless you're really, really into like music and music theory. But if you, I mean, I'm not a music theory guy. I'm just really into music. So if you are into that kind of stuff, it might be even more interesting to you. So after the band split, they did a project called the Art Bears. So because some of that stuff was intended for Henry Cow, but I guess some of the group didn't really dig the direction it was going in. And of course, Chris Cutler is not the only person who does things. Lindsay Cooper, Tim Hodgkinson, Fred Frith, some guy named Chris. I believe Georgie. Yep, they each have like their own chapter in this book, so it's really cool because you get to hear thoughts from all of the people involved. And then it has a list of post-Henry Cow member collaborations. So we will talk about a couple of them. And two of them are the Art Bears and News from Babel. So we'll talk about Art Bears first. This is another box set, also done by RER. And I have really got to figure out what RER means. What is that company's actual name? I'm not even sure. But, so in this, and I'm not sure how these albums, what order they went into in. Art Bear Winter Songs, with some great songs like Bath of Stars is fantastic. But Dagmar Krause's voice is an acquired taste, just so you know. This is what comes in there, all the lyrics. This is Dagmar Krause, Fred Frith, and Chris Cutler's project after Henry Cow. This is a extra disc that comes with it, and I'm not actually even sure what the heck this is. I forgot all about this. Remember, I bought this in 2008 or 2009. 12 to 10 years ago, I can't remember. And this is the only way you could get that disc, is in this box set. Hopes and Fears with songs called On Suicide. To try to... So this must have been the first one, because Georgie Bourne, Lindsay Cooper, and Tim Hodgkinson were all on it at some point. So this must have been the first album, Hopes and Fears. The song On Suicide is pretty awesome. This, again, very acquired taste. You get all the lyrics, which I like. I am a sucker for lyrics. It does have this little thing with notes. You get Art Bear's The World as It Is Today. And I believe this was the last of the albums. Oops, let's look at the booklet. Everybody wants to know, well, every time I look at an unboxing, I want to know what's in the booklets and stuff. So I feel as though I should show what is in everything. Leave no stone unturned. And then you get Art Bears Revisited, which is a 2-disc set with yet another booklet. And I believe I want to say, so this is people, I believe, covering Art Bear's stuff. Wow, I should have really refreshed my memory on all this. So they're remix working with Art Bear's tracks from a single song, a rework concentrating on one song but adding a scrambling material, or mix a new work made from material taken from many songs. So that's how they kind of determine what is what on here. Wow. I'll have to listen to this. I just decided to take something that I didn't see as a unboxing on Amazon or on YouTube, and just see what happens when I do an unboxing. So you're getting actually 3 for 1 on this one. Well, 6 for 1 technically. 5 for 1, sorry. Art Bears. So this is nice because this then gives you all the information. I should have probably went through this first so I could tell you Hopes and Fears was first. then Winter Songs, then The World as It Is Today is the last one. Again, lots of liner notes, lots of pictures. Ooh, there we go. So that is the Art Bears box set. And I believe I got this, I actually got all of these from a company called Wayside Records. Or Wayside Music, sorry. I might have actually had to get the Henry Cow box sets directly from RER. And then you have News from Babel. Sirens and Silence, Work Resumed on the Tower, and Letters Home. So this is, again, another RER box. They know how to do their shit. That's a good thing. So this actually comes with this disc, Contraries, which is Chris Cutler and Zena Parkins. And I think this is the only way you could get this disc. Okay, that doesn't need to come out because it's just that on the back and then the CD. And then you get, what order did this go to? News from Babel. Oh. So I believe this is both albums on one. So, sorry about that. I wasn't even looking. This has Lindsay Cooper, Dagmar Krause, Chris Cutler, and Zena Parkins. Zena Parkins is a harp player, I believe. Let's find out. Let's find out. Yeah, harp, electric, and prepared harp, and accordion. Dagmar is doing the vocals. Chris Cutler is drums, electrics and percussion, and Lindsay Cooper is bassoon, soprano, and alto saxes, and keyboards. So, yeah, you get actual song lyrics in there. And then Letters from Home. Let's see what's under here. This is still Lindsay Cooper, Chris Cutler, and Zena Parkins. This also has vocals by Robert Wyatt and Dagmar Krause, Phil Minton, Sally Potter, and then bass by Bill Glionis. So there you have it. That is everything that I have pretty much that is Henry Cow related. Hopefully you dig these videos and this might spur your interest. So let's kind of put everything in order again. We'll just move everything out of the way. There you go. Henry Cow, Art Bears, and News from Babel, or Babel. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully that wasn't too much glare as we were going through things. So you guys take it easy, and let me know if you like this.